This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info. A peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this evening, Vice President Shettima, governors in Marathon Economic Council meeting as interstate fare skyrockets due to petrol price increase. Governor Fubara to assist security agencies with logistics. Stakeholders criticizes implementation of anti-grazing open law in Rivers State. Ogoni right activists to call for inclusion of Eleme communities affected by oil spills in cleanup exercise. Court fixes date for judgment on suit by Emoha local government area against PHED, and on the foreign saying Wagner mercenary group to continue activities in Africa despite fallout with Russian government. I am Carl Orakwe with the news. As part of efforts to reduce the effect of the petrol subsidy removal on Nigerians, the National Economic Council is meeting to deliberate on the review palliative for Nigerians following the recent increase in petrol prices. The meeting, which is chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima, is attended by the 36 state governors, the Director General of the Nigerian Governors Forum, as well as stakeholders from the World Bank and other agencies of government. The hike in the cost of petrol pump price has caused an increase in interstate transportation fares. Our correspondent who visited major parks in the state reports that a 12-seater bus from Port Harcourt to Lagos, which was 21,500 naira, is now between 22,750 to 25,000 naira. But a luxurious bus, which was 12,500 naira, is currently 16,000 naira. From Port Harcourt to Enugu, which was 7,000 naira, is now between 8,000 to 8,500 naira. Those traveling to Onitsha will now have to pay 6,500 naira as against the previous price of 5,000 naira. The fare to Owerri from Port Harcourt also increased from 3,500 to between 4,000 and 5,000 naira. Other routes such as Port Harcourt to Benin, which was 6,000 naira, is now between 7,000 to 8,000 naira. Buses to Abuja, formerly 24,700 naira, is now between 25,500 to 27,000 naira. Some of the passengers spoke to our correspondent on this.
Right now, we are paying 7,000 naira to Bini. The transport rate is very, very high and it's not easy. And no be say people who they work with, they increase their pay. The thing they very annoying.
This hike in fuel price, it affects well. From Port Harcourt to Uyo, now 5,000 will they pay.
Only I go take go Bini, they come back. Now only the money now, and I go use go Bini. The rate is too high.
The fuel price of 18 is something that has affected the system. Enugu, for example, used to be 8,000, but because of that additional fuel amount, extra 500 naira was added to it.
Motorized this morning due to no passenger, no money.
Moving on, Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara has assured that his administration will provide vehicles and order logistics to security agencies to enable them carry out their work effectively. Governor Fubara said this today when he received the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 6, Ben Okolo, at Government House. Governor Fubara said meaningful development in the state can only take place when there's adequate peace and security.
Our state is one of the states in this federation, if not the only state that has one of the most wonderful relationships with security agencies. Our duty is to make sure we protect the life and property of our citizens. Development in this state cannot be achieved, or so far, even the ones that are recorded, we only achieve them because life and property in this state have been secured. In our own administration, we intend to do more for the welfare of our people. I want to assure you, as a government, we will continue to work with you people, give you all the necessary support.
Also speaking, AIG Ben Okolo expressed their determination to partner and synergize with the Rivers State government in ensuring that the mandate of security is achieved. Meanwhile, the chairman of Ijo Youth Council, Kalabari Sekwange, Asikatam's Edward, has disagreed with Governor Similaye Fubara that there is proliferation of arms in the Gema axis of Port Harcourt. in the Digem axis of Rivers State, I beg your pardon. Mr. Edward told correspondent Suibio Ruwari that the governor should commend the local volunteer force for the peaceful atmosphere they created during the 2023 general elections in the Kalabari area than discrediting their activities.
Prior to the 2023 elections, Nigerians and Rivers people are very much aware of the insecurity state of the Imoa Kalabari Road. How they were kidnapping, molesting and raping our parents, young ones who are applying that road for their daily businesses. And it was the intervention of the Amama soldiers that gave confidence on the Kalabari people. The election victory credited to the executive governor of Rivers State was as a result of this person's sacrifice on that road.
Asika Times Edwards said the local vigilante, despite the assistance of any government, has tackled the perennial activities of kidnapping in the Emoa Kalabari Road. On his part, a lecturer with the University of Port Harcourt, Fred Horsfall, called on the conventional security agencies to give the local vigilante the necessary support to tackle the insecurity along the Emoa Kalabari Road.
That even on daily basis, in the presence of the army, kidnapping and killing, raping on daily basis occur. This is in the knowledge of the government and our chief, a nationalist, a public-spirited leader, volunteered to take this place. I must emphasize that while even these military men are on the road, these bad boys are even attacking the military men and they ran away. I am a witness to it. Every Nigerian that plies that road, plies the road 24 hours without any hitch. So
I recall that Governor Similai Fubara, while playing host to the General Officer Commanding GOC 6th Division Nigerian Army, Major General Jamal Abdul Salam, at Government House, urged him to clamp down on arms proliferation in some communities in the Degema area. Our reports just coming in say the National Economic Council has agreed to implement a number of measures to help cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal. They include a cash award policy for public servants, improved funding of SMEs, and massive investment in infrastructure. Others are the immediate implementation of an energy transition plan from petrol to compressed natural gas (CNG), as well as the distribution of grains to Nigerians through the respective state governments. Announcing this at a media briefing with his Bauchi and Ogun counterparts, Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo explained that the measures are part of efforts to ease the economic burden of Nigerians. He added that the National Social Register has now been reviewed so that the register will emanate from the respective state governments, while also allowing them to make conditional cash transfers in line with their financial capacity. A consultant to the All Farmers Association of Nigeria Rivers State Chapter, Charles Okoro, says the anti-open grazing law enacted during former Governor Wike's administration is a waste of tax money. Mr. Okoro's comment is in reaction to the reports of the continuous destruction of farm crops by herders in parts of Rivers State.
The headers has trampled everywhere. River State government is not also helping matters. There was anti-open grazing law. That one was more or less an audio because there is no implementation and enforcement since that law was enacted, implying that they wasted taxpayers' money. Giving a law, go to Irebe now. There are cars moving all around. Both people. If you go across Imo Gate, you will see them. If you go to Ibeche Road now, there are many there. River State is playing this service in agriculture. All their budget has never at any point translated to the field. Only on paperwork. They are not really having passion for agriculture.
Mr. Okoro also appealed to the current government in Rivers State to appoint a seasoned technocrat as Commissioner for Agriculture. Some Ogoni rights activists have called on the management of the Hydrocarbon Pollution and Remediation Project, HYPREP, to ensure it accommodates the area recently affected by the oil spill at Aleto and Eto in Eleme local government area of Rivers State. A member of the HYPREP Governing Council, Celestine Akubari, in an interview with correspondent Suibio Ruwari, gave this advice while speaking on the absence of JIV reports on the oil spill that occurred at the two communities in Ogoni land.
And to HYPREP, we want HYPREP to know that the recent spills that are happening all around the area is not something that they should pay deaf ear to, that it is within the confine of the territory where they are supposed to clean. And so whatever that happens, that concern OSP must be captured in whatever that they are doing, and also ensure that they begin to make plans to conduct assessment in neighboring states and communities so that Ogoni will remain clean after the cleanup.
On his part, former MUSOP President Lady Mite says the government should ensure that international oil companies have funds dedicated to the containment of oil spills before they occur.
Every time, since the time we had the technical report on the Niger Delta, which we issued several years ago, we have suggested that the only way you make companies responsible is when you hit their pocket. And so every company should be made to enter a bond that is an undertaking. If I spill, they should just go there and get money to effect cleanup and to pay compensation. Once you have something like such insurance bond, then they will sit up because it affects their revenue.
In the meantime, the coordinator of High Prep, Nani Barini Zabe, assured that 2 Eleme communities affected by oil spills will be captured in the cleanup exercise for Ogoni land. Still to come, court fixes date for judgment on 5 billion naira suit by Emoha local government area against PHED. Do stay tuned. Government area Samuel Wanosike has commissioned the Guruta Health Center. Speaking recently, Dr. Wanosike assured the people of Victoria that the administration will continue to deliver projects that satisfy point agenda. The campaign has been fulfilled. The Great Council Boss also met former Governor Yeson Wee and security agencies for their support in the fight against security in the area.
Architecture set up by the immediate past governor of Rivers State, which has been inherited by the present governor of Rivers State, Excellency of 2 ice creams without fear of any attack by.
Okay, also for President Bola Tinubu for what he described as removal of petrol subsidy. He also promised to launch a mass transit scheme to reduce the effect of the subsidy removal.
We have told our people that the removal of subsidy must go through. As a leader at the third tier, I am proud of the Jagaban of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, for having the courage to remove this fuel subsidy. Enough is enough. We cannot be subsidizing fuel for people in charge. We want to be a nation that enjoy what God has given to us. And we are saying that we are establishing a mass transit.
Chidia was represented by Chairman of Ghana Local Government, commented Dr. Wanu gave showing concern well-being of his people. Correspondent Special Duties, River State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Mrs. Ofo, Paramount Ruler of the Guruta, Professor Nweke, Lead Obina Ikem, among the dignitaries that div. I had the full segment of first file at the local area against Sports Hacker Distribution Company ED. You may know L1 had PHED to call for breach of contract after paying over 24 million to source communities in Emoha, which the electricity distribution company failed to carry out. The presiding judge, Justice S.H. Apioku, adjourned the matter after lawyers to the parties informed the court that an agreement has been reached to the out of court following an appeal by the defendants to complete Charles 6 weeks. Justice Apioku said the court gave its consent judgment after the defendant has performed the terms of the agreement reached with the claimant. Meanwhile, the chairman, Emoha Local Government Area Chidi Lloyd, spoke on the significance of the court decision to adjourn the case after the parties agreed to settle out of court.
They said, give me 6 weeks. I said, put it down and file it. Let it be part of the terms of agreement. So they have now agreed. It is now in the court's record. They asked them to come back on 5th of October. Because we can say, okay, we have settled out of court. They will put the council in a another place. So we will go back. The onus is on them now. We will like, and that will be content as particular.
According to reports that lawyer Inuwera also spoke.
The court wants us to complete the work before it would enter the text, and the matter has been adjourned to October, that is after God's vacation.
Use of Nigeria maintained number 9 in the latest World King. The latest ranking published on FIFA's website today, the Super Eagles retained its 6th position in Africa.
Now we bring you news from around the world.
and inviting them in African countries where they are already present. Mr. soldiers are embedded in countries within Mali and the Central African Republic, where rights group and the UN accuse them of committing war crimes. And that just about does it here on the news this evening. But before we go, here's a quick look at the major stories. Earlier on, we told you Vice President Shettima, governors and other governors are in a Marathon Economic Council meeting as interstate fares have skyrocketed due to petrol price increase. We told you River State Governor Similaye Fuwara is to assist security agencies with logistics. You heard the stakeholder has criticized the implementation of anti-grazing open law in Rivers State. Ogoni rights activists have called for the inclusion of Eleme communities affected by oil spills in the cleanup exercise. High Court in Port Harcourt has favored a state judgment on the sort by Mohawk against electricity distribution company. And from the foreign scene, we told you the news was edited by Oyumozu. Rain is expected in Port Harcourt this evening. Do remember, peace is the path to prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Carl Orakwe. Goodbye.